Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. My name is Dani Visser. I'm a Deputy Vice-Chancellor in the University, and I've come just before the ceremony to tell you a little bit about the ceremony that will unfold before you. Many of you have graduated before, so you will know what happens. Some of you will not have graduated necessarily from the University of Cape Town, and many of the family and friends who are here might not have witnessed a University of Cape Town ceremony yet. So what happens, of course, is something that has happened across the world since more or less the 12th century. You see, so these kinds of robes that we wear all hark back to the first universities that started in Italy. Many of you will know that universities, as we know them today, started off more or less in the 12th century in Italy, the first one being the University of Bologna. And of course, they also started admitting people to certain degrees. First, the bachelor degree, which is the first sort of step on the rung, and then later on one could become a master, etc., etc. So various degrees recognizing levels of skill and competence awarded by universities. And as you know, universities have flourished. There are very few institutions that existed in the 12th century that still exist today, and some that do are not flourishing as much as universities are. So universities must be doing something right. And I think what that is that universities are places where people come up with new ideas, where the things that take society forward have the space to be thought out. And I think that is the most important contribution that universities make to the modern world. So although we wear these ancient robes, universities are not places for looking back. Universities are places for looking forward, for finding the way in which to shape tomorrow. Now, today's ceremony is a very special ceremony, and that is because of the events of the last while. So today's ceremony is dedicated to the memory of our former president, Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela. And we wish today to be a reflection on his life. Now, we will both be celebrating today because it's a joyous day for you, you are graduating, but we are also in mourning. So because we're on the one hand, because we're celebrating, the procession will enter the hall with the traditional singing of Gaudeamus Igitur, because that is the traditional way in which the graduates are celebrated on their graduation day. But because we are also mourning, before the national anthem is sung, because when the procession arrives, the Vice-Chancellor will constitute this as a congregation of the University of Cape Town. That means that legally degrees and certificates and diplomas can be conferred here. So the moment you're capped by the Vice-Chancellor, that is the moment you enter officially into the degree. So once the Vice-Chancellor has constituted this as a congregation of the University of Cape Town, then a lament will be sung. And that lament is a really beautiful lament called Vukani Nobanilele. It means, wake up even though you are asleep. Now let me tell you something about this lament. It is sung by women, and typically women sing it when an elder passes away in a house. Now before telling anyone that the elder has passed away, the neighbors will first hear the voices of the women, and they will know that something has happened. It is a call to the ancestors to come and collect and guide the person, even though the ancestors will already, so to speak, be there. So the thought is, once the breath goes, you are already amongst the ancestors, so they come and guide you and give you courage. So that is the story behind the lament that will be sung by Zinzi Nogabu. Once the lament has been sung, then the national anthem will be sung. And at this particular ceremony, we will sing it in tribute to the life of former President Nelson Mandela. Thereafter, the SRC president, or at least a member of the SRC, will dedicate the graduation to the memory of President Mandela. And thereafter, the ceremony will proceed as in the order of the day. All right, so that is what is going to unfold now. So the procession is going to arrive in a short while. We're going to sit for quite a bit of time, so in between the time that the procession arrives, now and then, you might want to get up and stretch your legs a bit because you're going to sit for a long time. But if you feel that that is not necessary, you can still remain seated, but you're welcome to take a leg stretch now, because after that you're going to sit for a little while. So, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the ceremony until a little bit later. Thank you very much.
By virtue of the authority conferred on me as Vice-Chancellor, I constitute this Assembly a congregation of the University of Cape Town.
Vukani, vukani, nobani lele na vukani madoda, nilele na vukani, vukani, vukani madoda, nobani lele na vukani na vukani, vukani. Vukani matuta nobani lele vukani na hey ya hey 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 ya hey lele ma hey ya hey 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 ya hey lele ma hey ya hey 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 ya hey lele ma hey ya hey 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 lele ma hey 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 hey, 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 ma, hey, 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 ha, hey, 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 Siti vukani, vukani, no one lele na. Siti vukani na, no one lele na.
The national anthem. Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to invite Keenan Hendricks, a member of the SRC, to read the university dedication.
I would like to dedicate this graduation to the memory of President Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela. At this time of national reflection following the death of the father of the nation, Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, and celebration of his life, we, the members of the University of Cape Town, reaffirm our mission to nurture rational and creative thought and free inquiry, to strive for excellence in teaching and research, to educate for life, and to address the challenges of our society. We undertake to advance these ideals in a spirit of freedom and responsibility, and through consultation and debate. We celebrate our founders, benefactors, and predecessors, those who have built the fabric and nourished the values of UCT, and dedicate this celebration to continuing the work of our former president. To those of you who will graduate today, we wish courage, wisdom, and purpose. To those of you who will leave the university to learn and work elsewhere, may you be sustained by those values which unite us here today and advance them in the world beyond, a love of truth and of learning and of this, our university. Thank you.
Please be seated.
Climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow every byway, till you find your dream. Climb every mountain, search high and low, follow every rainbow, till you find your dream, a dream that will need all the love you can give every day of your life, for as long as you live. Climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow, till you find your dream. A dream that will need all the love you can give every day of your life, for as long as you live. Climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow, till you find your
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Bongiwe Nakani with Francois Botha on the piano. I think another round of applause is. And also for Zinzi Nugavu, who sang the lament Vukani Nobanilele, just leading as well. And I would also like to mention that Gaudiamus and the national anthem were performed by singers from the South African College of Music, and they were accompanied on the organ by Eben Bachenstroom. Thank you very much. Welcome, first of all, to all the family, friends, and loved ones of the graduates. Thank you for coming today. Thank you for celebrating with the graduates and with us on this beautiful Cape Town day. A very special welcome, of course, to the graduates themselves. And I'd like to say something very specific to the graduates of today. You are graduating at a moment which gives you a wonderful opportunity to reflect on how you will live your lives from now on. In the past few days, since the death of our first democratically elected president, you've held up to you an exemplary life. A life lived with courage, a life lived with integrity, a life lived in the service of others. And I would like to say to you, as you stand at the beginning of your careers, let his life be a distant mirror to you. Ask yourself, as you come to the important moments of decision in your life, how will my actions be judged on that now still far off days when others will look back on my life? Will they say it was lived with courage, it was lived with integrity, it was lived in the service of others? Because of the fact that Nelson Mandela dedicated his life to freedom and to justice, we all now live in a free society, and many of you have been born free. But many of the things that Nelson Mandela fought for still need fighting for today. We remain a hugely unequal society, and you have an opportunity to play a part in taking the country nearer to Nelson Mandela's vision for our nation. We are very proud of our commerce faculty, and graduating from it gives you an edge in life. And we know and we hope that you will be extremely successful as you embark on your careers. But as you become successful, remember that you have the opportunity also to contribute to justice and equality in our country. And my message to you is seize that opportunity. Your university is very proud of you today, so make us ever more prouder as time goes on. The Vice-Chancellor will now confer the diplomas and the degrees.
By virtue of the authority conferred upon me, I admit to the degrees specified and grant the diplomas specified to candidates who are recorded in the program as being in absentia. And I shall now grant the diplomas and admit to the degrees specified the candidates who will be presented to me by the Dean of the Faculty of Commerce.
Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you, for the postgraduate diploma in accounting, Jaden Adams. Simone Daniela Ali. Jared Amsdorf. Dan Badash. Kudzai Christine Bandama. Carrie Ann Beaumont. Dean Benjamin. Megan Lee Beppo. With distinction in financial reporting and the diploma with distinction, Gavin Bishoyvo. Enrico Bingham. Erica Blomeris. Gary Vainand Neil Breitenbach. With distinction in financial reporting, managerial accounting, and finance, and the diploma with distinction, Thomas Francois Burgers. Bianca Jane Carolsa. Brent Chernotsky. Shahista Chikte. Shane Clausen. Chantal Lorraine Caminos. Tamar Lynn Conadaris. Sarah Kim Cooper. Jane Sarah Cornelison. Darren Roberto Casuti. Catherine Maria Kutras. Michael Peter Kutz. Ashley Mary Crossland. Taruna Datadeen. Judah Davids. Ashley Lorette DeClerc. Byron James Dempsey. Nicholas Dempsey. Damon George Dionysopoulos. With distinction in corporate governance, financial reporting, taxation, and the diploma with distinction, Cristina Cecilia Freitas dos Santos. Rachel Catherine Drake. With distinction, Robin Lee Dreyer. Ramaredzwai Dube. Fakile Faney. Christopher Joseph Ford. Mark Anthony Julian Fortoin. Anthony Fruin. Jane Freest. Pooja Bijay Garaj. Piero Gava. Linda Teresa Hermeshuizen. Michael Ryan Ginsberg. Tafedzwa Pamela Guerrero. Grant Stewart Cleif. Darren Luke Haltman. Chad Hammond. Kyle Brennan Hank. Jacqueline Harding. Lloyd James Harris. Graham Andrew Mark Hodges. Thomas Robin Horn. Natasha Karen Hulley. Muriel Amunyolet Iputo. Sarah Jane Irvin. Jahan Ismail. Shakira Ismail. Emma Jackson. Abdus Samad Jacobs. Sajida Jaffer. Nobalolonge Jakalaze. Andrew Daniel Johnson. Gareth Mark Jones. Mohammed Yusuf Joseph. Nadia Kirsten Junger. Dinal Rohit Juta. Naomi Khan. Vincenzo Kendall. Jason Graham Kerr Fox. Taboho Patrick Kanya. Whitney Karen King. Kirsty Beth Kleinman. Petra Kloppers. Craig Anthony Lai King. With distinction in financial reporting, managerial accounting and finance, taxation, and the diploma with distinction, Gareth Thompson Lake. Thierry Robert Langlois. Luke John Marcus Lemon. Yuntong Lee. Maeve Consolata Lodia. Kanyisa Lombo. Shannon Claire Lotz. Zamaswazi Nontlebo Madonsela. Christopher John Maggs. Viresh Virendra Maharaj. Bengazela Unam Mashlati. Malibongwe Sipo Majombozi. With distinction, Simamila Nana Machunga. Simbarasha Maniumwa. Prudence Ntombi Kaisa Maposa. Kanyesile Makosazana Masango. Philip David Masson. Tato Ondela Matcha. Zahira Mayat. Nazira McCallum. Emily Ann McLaren. Ntabising Dinah Moshe. Sayurin Moodley. Cynthia Mushawati. Samantha Rutendo Mukubvu. With distinction in corporate governance, financial reporting, taxation, and the diploma with distinction, Rutendo Mukuzwazwa. With distinction in financial reporting, Tinotenda Rosario Munengwa. Brendan Richard Murphy. Candice Naidu. Rael Naidu. Maria Tanai Namupala. Lawrence Ashley Nates. Nolwaze Nombulelo Ndaba. Pendile Nonslansla Ndemeni. Zimasa Sisipo Ndondo. Zizile Nziba. David Allen Neal. Mandisa Nene. Sisa Taboho Njongwe. Caitlin Nicole Nosworthy. Sopafolu Tololope Ogunrombe. Matthew Dean Osborne. Asiya Osman. Matthew Sean Owen. Muhammad Wasim Parker. Justin Guy Pearson. With distinction, Melissa Penny. Mashlatse Lenmary Moore Patala. Alexandros Georgios Newton Philippou. Justin Platis. Sadia Poflonker. Jade Ashley Pomeroy. Robrecht Posen. Aditi Radhakrishna. Bonolo Katlejo Ramasady. With distinction in financial reporting and taxation and the diploma with distinction, Michael Rance. Travis Dillon Ravenscroft. Carisha Reddy. Jason David Redmond. Samantha Frances Riley. Andrew Charles Robbins. Mark Rush. Carly Sachs. With distinction in taxation and the diploma with distinction, Mohammed Ziad Samsudin. Rizan Samuels. Chanel Santana. Kaylin Jade Scapers. Nicholas Dave Schwenke. Kiamagetswe Wagile Sebesho. Wait. With distinction in financial reporting, taxation, and the diploma with distinction, Siham Shamsuddin. Ndatagako Ndiapo Shilongo. Alexandra Shimwell. With distinction in financial reporting and the diploma with distinction, Julia Ndiapo Sipahu. Simengilasile Fortunate Similane. Lauren Jean Smith. Michelle Lauren Smith. Cedric Stellenboom. Amy Alexandra Stephen. Stephanie Alexandra Stradum. With distinction, Kiara Britt Suttner. Kelsey Catherine Tanner. Thomas Parsley Taylor. Kim Simone Teron. With distinction in financial reporting, taxation, and the diploma with distinction, Matthew Robert Thompson. Nicholas Hamilton Trump. Ashley Fern Tucker. Nicholas Robert Turner. Gregory Van Eden. Snegugu Vilakazi. Kaylee von Huyslen. Michael James White. Ashley Erica Williams. With distinction in financial reporting, taxation, and the diploma with distinction, Kirsty Wilson. Laurie Adam Wissenberg. Andrew Witty. Sarah Wium. Carl Nicholas Wolf. Zara Wood. Presley Kanyele Ashimba. For the postgraduate diploma in actuarial science, Lizzie Chivaka. Farai Umbumbwa. For the postgraduate diploma in management in accounting conversion, Zaida Ahmad. Ashley Davis. Gabriela Ferreira. Devasya Govender. Cara Nicolette Hobson. Annachret Museler. Michael Nicolao. Viwe Vuyu Kalani. Adele Roos. Trishan Singh. For the postgraduate diploma in management in actuarial science conversion, Timothy James Carr. For the postgraduate diploma in management in computer forensics, Shafiq Johnson. For the postgraduate diploma in management in information systems, Melissa Adams. Sakile Bengu. Kosanati Bitsini. Sharonda Marlene Brown. Patrick Wete Bianakiro. Alicia Yolanda Ernstson. Namshla Kanyile Kosamba. Mongezi Jacques Guga. Charles Haynes. Mohammed Armin Jardine. Sebashle Gwendolyn Cuswell. Mzwandile Kweyama. Vuyani Christopher Majola. Asanda Mandla. Sivankosi Zanele Maswana. Sebenzile David Mazula. Anele Mbelakane. Slabo Fairbridge Mochalusi. J. Allen Tony Morris. Moaketsi Sanford Motapanyane. Nkobile Nosipo Lin Msleko. Lungakazi Klinwa. Tashwell Sydney Nazo. Ntobizine Kladani. Lindiwe Blessed Nslapo. Timothy Joshua Nichols. Auntie Njosela. Dineo Lillian Nkolise. Mohammed Nawid Poplonker. Peter Paul Takawira Pote. Talisha Ramnarain. Tommy Priscilla Lumka Salamtu. Shahida Justine Sampson. Rudy Darrell Sands. Mohammed Sangle. And Isiwe Siengu. Pindile Sizani. Mbulelo Tom. For the postgraduate diploma in management in marketing, Jody Abel. Mishka Basha. Yasha Biki. Terry Lee Bunzire. Audrey Ann Borman. Peter Paul Brink. Lori Claire Cape. Tato Oceana Chabana. Laura Jade Chung Ching Man. Blessing Chibaro. Alexandra Catherine Clute. Jenny Sarah Colson. Etienne Jean Daniels. Rowan Alapin. Karen Godry Gabriels. Kayla Diane Gomes. Courtney Megan Moore Granger. Umara Hartley. Nsunga Kaniki. Sarah Ann King. Timothy Ian David Lester. Jiangyu Liu. Dane Desmond Ling. Yolisi Matitela. Tema Catherine Maema. Takudzwa Muyambo. Bhavesh Naran. Ndiwanjani Paul Ngambi. Chad Brian Otto. Patejo Ana Ranue. Amy Kate Raymond. Nikki Lee Raymond. Sally Ann Robertson. Tamsin Lee Scoble. Kolise Gladwell Sibia. Kyle Christopher Ivan Thomas. Afua Ofioriwa Twumdako. Stephanie Nicole Fenter. Arthur Wasara. For the postgraduate diploma in management, in sports management, Callan Matthew Artis. Derek Asbun. Devin Nicholas Barrett. Justin Christopher Behrens. Shane Ryan Fainsinger. Chelsea Fuller. Stacy Lee Gadult. Sarah Jane Harrop. Abdulaziz Jacobs. Sean David Kelly. Shante Ventel Lasper. Mseki Ntsiko. Liam Slatham. For the postgraduate diploma in management in tourism, Lise Barretton. Kelly Ray Gifford. Chengetai Adeline Nyagweta. Alicia Achieng Okeo. For the degree of Master of Business Science in Marketing, Reza Chauhan. For the degree of Master of Commerce in Applied Economics, with distinction in the dissertation and the degree with dissertation, Christopher Sumter. For the degree of Master of Commerce in Economics, Idowu Olatunji Balogun. With distinction, Natalia Linda Teresia Linda Nashenda. For the degree of Master of Commerce in Financial and Risk Management, Jonathan Peter De Pasquale. With distinction in the dissertation, Nicholas John Pullen. With distinction in the dissertation, Neil Gavin Tillemans. For the degree of Master of Commerce in Financial Management, Jerome Edward Davies. Johanna Marita Goebel. For the degree of Master of Commerce in Information Systems, Michael Leslie Monson. With distinction in the dissertation and the degree with distinction, Takunda Arthur Majuru. Carrington Mugove Mukwasi. Grant Wayne Oostervik. For the degree of Master of Commerce in Taxation, with distinction in the dissertation, Timothy Luke Bland. Martin Hendrick Delport. With distinction in the dissertation and the degree with distinction, Catherine Ann Salmon. Marika Hubrecht Ungerer. For the degree of Master of Philosophy in Demography, Clara Lamani. Greaves Tabo Mofokeng. Polite Muniaradzi Nduru. For the degree of Master of Philosophy in Mathematical Finance, Geraldine Bailey. For the degree of Master of Philosophy in Program Evaluation, Erin Chicheki.
Ladies and gentlemen, graduates, it's a special day. As you've heard, a doubly special day because of our wish to pay tribute to our first democratically elected president. And for UCT and for this graduation ceremony, there's another connection which I want to highlight, and that is that the Chancellor of our university is Mrs. Graça Machel. Mrs. Graça Machel would normally officiate at a graduation ceremony, and I actually stand in her place when she's not here as Chancellor. And so she would otherwise have been here. She sends her apologies, as you will all know. Clearly she can't be here. But we send our condolences to her, and I'm sure that on behalf of all the graduates and the parents, you would want me to send your condolences to her as well. It's a celebration, and I want to say congratulations to the graduates and ask you all to give one huge round of applause for what they've achieved. And I also want to add a special thanks to the parents and partners, spouses, and sometimes children who have supported these students. These are postgraduate students. Some of them are already working. Many of them have families. And we know what kind of sacrifice you have to make to support them both financially and morally and psychologically, and doing the home care and the child care while they are studying. And we thank you very much for your support too. And I also want to express my thanks to the faculty on the platform, without whom most of you would not have got to the point that you are today, and also to the support staff of the university who, behind the scenes, make sure that everything runs like clockwork, from the computer systems, the libraries, the registration, and this graduation ceremony. I ask you to show your appreciation to all of them too. As you go and leave our portals and make your way in the world of work, in your own businesses, in companies, here in South Africa and around the world, you will be judged, and we will be judged through you. People will think about UCT and know about UCT by the reputations that you create for us. And they will do so not just on the basis of how good you are as an actuarial scientist, or as a marketing manager, or as a human resource manager. They will do so also, and perhaps more importantly, on the basis of the values that you espouse. And we hope that through being at UCT, we've been able to emphasize and inculcate values of social justice, commitment to reducing inequality, commitment to making an impact on the world, particularly for those less fortunate than ourselves, us, this very privileged elite of people who've been able to have an opportunity to get a tertiary education and to do so at one of the world's leading universities. And I urge you, as Professor Visser did at the start of the ceremony, to bear in mind the example that Madiba has shown to all of us, but especially in the fields of work that you're going to have opportunities to do so. As you know, over the last 5 years or so, the leaders of commerce and business and banking have not covered themselves in glory when it comes to ethical practice. And we want to be sure that our graduates restore the reputation for integrity in that group of professionals, and you will be the ambassadors to do so. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for studying at UCT. As you graduate, you become members of the convocation of UCT. Some of you already have a degree from UCT, but those who have not will be becoming members of convocation. It's an important role. It provides continuity from the past into the future. But we can only maintain those connections with you if you ensure that you keep in touch with us and tell us when you move, when your emails change, so that we can tell you what your university is doing, that we can involve you in the elections of members for the council of the university, that you can be involved in the election of the chancellor of the university, and that you can give us feedback about how your lives are going and how you see the university doing in the future. Congratulations again.
We We have now come to the end of today's proceedings, and in a few moments the Vice-Chancellor will dissolve this congregation of the University of Cape Town. The platform party will then process out of the hall, and I invite all the graduates to join the procession and process with it out of the hall. Please process right down to University Avenue so that we can all get out of the hall in good time. Thank you very much. And all the graduates and their families are warmly invited to the function in the Leslie Building, which is in University Avenue. If you come to the bottom of the steps and you turn right, the far end of University Avenue on the right-hand side, that is where the Leslie Building and the function is, to which you are all invited. The Vice-Chancellor will now dissolve the congregation. Please, will you stand?
By the authority conferred on me, I now dissolve this congregation of the University of Cape Town.